What's up? Welcome back to fucking Fantasy Report. Today, we're gonna go, look at the weather. Man, this Hurricane Milton ain't shit. So Jamar Chase has scored 93.5 points during me and Luke's last two matchups. So yeah, in celebration of my 40-point loss, I've decided to make a tier list. So Zilf needed about 20.5 points on Monday to beat Timmy. He still had Patty and Shaheed left to play. They combined for 32, so he beat Timmy by about 12. Heartbreaking game between Ruben and Fennell. Ruben had a slow start to the season, but in typical Ruben fashion, his team is now starting to find their rhythm. But in the way of that is now Chris Olave. Fennell just needed 10 points out of Olave. Proceeded to have the worst game of the year, clocking in at just 3 points in his 7-point defeat to Ruben. Christopher started fucking Champlin this week at running back. I'm not really going to go over all of the other options that he could have chosen in the waiver wire. There were better options. There was a lot of better options. Couch is undefeated. Ben, despite having a season-high game for Burrow, lost to Danny after Garrett Wilson and Drake London decided that they would combine for a 62.5-point clinic, winning Danny the game by just a little less than 9 points. Trevor and Cody put up, game of the week type performances last week. Now, unfortunately for Trevor, absolutely everything went right for Cody. Both players would have beaten anyone else in the league, combining for a season-high 303.7 points, but Cody's 160 was just a little bit too much for Trevor, who lost by 16. So I had to break it to you guys, but our game of the week this week was predetermined, and it's my fault, really. Actually, it's Alex's fault. There have been 3 times in Fantasy Report where I have given teams 70 plus odds. Alex has been a part of all 3 of those games, losing to Christopher with 77 odds last year, and then winning last week after he only had 28 odds. And now, going into Monday, the fate of predictions rests solely on Travis Kelce outscoring the Kansas City defense and Harrison Butker by 0.3 points. And in Alex fashion, he lost with the 72 odds, making teams with 70 plus odds 0-3. And me, a fool for believing in you fucking garbage. So the league's vice commissioner held a press conference Saturday introducing the idea of our draft order being determined by some sort of competition. Really makes you question what we play for. I thought this was the competition that we were, to determine draft order. I thought that the league itself. With that being said, Fantasy Report stands with Couch on the idea the group be a mile to determine the draft order.
My name is Adam Couch, and I approve this message.
Through God, we trust Couch. The standings are hot right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the East. We've got Timmy at 3-2 right now, sitting the first seed in his division. He's 7th in points for, 12th in points against, because his team is indeed fraudulent, and I will prove that this week. At number 2, we do have Luke Sr., who is 3-2. He's currently 9th in points for, 8th in points against. He would be 5th in the overall league seeding, so he would be in the playoffs, but as you can see with that 9 and 8, fraudulent. We have Trevor Jr. also at 3 and 2. He is 10th in points for, 11th in points against. He would also be in the playoffs. Also fraudulent. At number 4, we have Cody at 2 and 3. Cody is first in points for, first in points against, and is sitting just outside of the playoffs. I will not call him fraudulent, because if I do, he's going to... wait, I already played him this year. Fraudulent. Right up next, we have Derek, me, the guy, at 2 and 3. I am 3rd in points for, 2nd in points against. I'm sitting just outside of the playoffs. Absolutely not fraudulent. I mean, I'm that dude. We got Fennell. He is 2 and 3. The commissioner is currently 6th in points for, 3rd in points against. He is well outside of the playoffs at the moment, but with everybody either being 3 and 2 or 2 and 3 at this point, fraudulent. And finally, at the last spot in the East, we have Rubo, who has had a season. He is currently last in points scored. He's only 10th in points put on him. Fraudulent. Now over to the Western Conference standings, we have obviously Couch at number 1. He is 5 and 0. Cannot seem to beat this guy. He's currently 2nd in points scored, though. The reason he's 5 and 0 is because he's 13th in points scored against. He's currently the 1st seed in the league, obviously. Fraudulent. We have Chris at 3 and 2. He's currently 4th in points scored, 4th in points against. 2nd in the league. His team's alright, but he's fraudulent. Danny is 3 and 2. Currently he's 8th in points scored. He is 14th in points scored against. So best defense in the league. He's currently the 4th seed and deserves to be there. I mean, God, just another great season for Danny, really. Next up, we have Ben at 2 and 3. Surprised to not see Ben at 0 and 5. So currently he's 5th in points scored, 6th in points against. He's just outside of the playoffs. He's had a decent season, but it's been a sham. He's fraudulent. We have Zach at 2 and 3. Disappointing. I know. He's currently 11th in points scored, 7th in points scored against him. He's 11th in the league. I mean, this guy, I'd call him fraudulent, but we already know he's garbage. JC at 2 and 3. He's currently 6th in his division. He's 12th in points scored, 5th in points scored against him, 12th in the league overall. Just another example of a fraudulent team. And finally, we have Alex at 1 and 4. Fucking horrible. Clown of the Week this week is brought to you by Bushmill, home of the world's oldest licensed whiskey distillery. Smooth taste with a nice kick. Made the Irish way. Yum. Alright. Fuck, I wasn't paying attention. Did they play an ad? Is it time for Clown of the Week yet?
What are we going to do?
Clown of the Week this week goes out to all 4 league members who voted yes to HR 6009, the bill determining draft order this past Saturday. Fantasy Report knows who you are. And if you upset me again, I will be releasing home addresses. Look, now fool me once, that's shame on you. Fool me twice, that's shame on me. Fool me 3 times, Alex, and I'm gonna make you honorable mention. after being the first player in league history to lose 2 games with 70 or better odds. Also, Zach Hollis for he won again, didn't he? Well, at this point, Zach, I see this can only really in one way, and that's either really bad for you or really bad for me. And at this point, there's no happy ending for the both of us. But that's why I drafted Deshaun Watson, motherfucker. Zach Hollis for winning $100 buy-in and starting the league 2-3. Well, guys, it's been fun. I hope to never see a motherfucker named Shamklin in a starting lineup ever again. With that being said, though, that's really all I got. Godspeed from the Cock and Ball Torch organization, and best of luck to everyone that participated in drafting this year. Yeah, so what we're looking at here is this guy right here. He's just gonna fucking kill that guy.